Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Welcome to Facts and Two Cents. I am a little bit I'm a little bit out of sorts at the moment, but welcome to Facts and Two Cents. I hope you can hear me. I hope you are having a better day than I am. But put that aside, how are you all doing? All of my friends in the chat, they're probably like, what is wrong with this girl today? This is what happens when you're rushing. But anyways, welcome to Facts and Two Cents. As you can see, our faves. Oh my goodness, I can't wait to talk about these amazing photos. Misan Harriman is photo king, so we'll talk about that in a second. But welcome to all of you who are in the chat and to all of you who are not in the chat. Welcome to you as well. If you can give me a little bit of a thumbs up, let me know that you can hear me. That would be so great. I'm so sorry. I've been fiddling with my mic. And so I was like, forget to prepare other stuff while fiddling with this mic. So just give me a thumbs up. Let me know you can hear me. That would be really, really amazing. And I would be very grateful. But welcome, guys. Who is in the chat today? Let's see. Hello to Church Nelly, our awesome moderator. Church Nelly is giving everyone a huge thumbs up. And a hello to everyone, all of our wonderful squaddies out there also in South Carolina. And again, if you are looking for any link for our faves or for this channel, Church Nelly has them all in the post, or organizations that our faves support in any way, shape, or form. Church Nelly has them there. So if you're looking for any one of those, definitely check out her post in the chat. And Karen Nemo, awesome moderators here. Hello, Karen. Auntie Jane is here. And Rafaela is here. Hello, Rafaela. Who else is here? Okay, I see Rafaela doing a thumbs up, so I'm assuming that's that she could hear me and that my mic is actually working. So again, if you can hear me, okay, TMCD gave me a thumbs up, so yes, she can hear me. My mic is working. Thank the Lord. Let's see. Jelaine is here. Novi is here. Annie's here. Hello, guys. How are you doing? Happy Thursday. Khadijah, Patricia, and who else is here? JSC is here, and Connie hanging out with us from Switzerland. Hello, Connie. Nash is here. Hello, Nash. And Robert. How are you? Robert is hanging out with us from Rome. Robert, I'm in need of some Martinelli's. Cranberry spritzer would be fantastic. Enjoy one for me. So Jackie is here. Hello, guys. So this just dropped today. You may have seen, I don't know if Baron or others have posted these photos, but I was running around this morning, and then I went on on X, and it was just like, oh my goodness, Misan Harriman is trying to kill us with these photos. I mean, look at these amazing photos. This is from the first day events, obviously, when Harry and Meghan were with the little kids, and then they were with the teenagers, and they launched the mental health initiative there. They had like a seminar, and it's just, I mean, this is why we wanted, and we were so desperate for Misan to be the photographer for this. I mean, how incredibly beautiful these, it's amazing. It is absolutely amazing. If you don't know Misan, that's why I put him here in bright orange, so you could see him. This is our amazing photographer. And of course, Misan's family are all from Nigeria. So this was also a coming home or a going home for Misan as well. So he was there for the whole thing. And so these are some photos the photos he posted today, and it's just like, oh, how cute are they? Look at the top photo. I mean, Meghan looks like a little girl. Harry and Meghan are so adorable. It's just like, I am like, how And so Miss Owen says, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex visit the Lightway Academy alongside Gianco Foundation for its first mental health summit in Abuja, Nigeria. And of course, Gianco is David Oyelowo's foundation that the Sussexes have supported. They started supporting it last year. and donated backpacks with supplies for the kids and also feminine supplies for the girls. It's a scholarship program that David Oyelowo has, and so it's just so great that he teamed up with Meghan and Harry and Archewell Foundation to do this. And so this was the first day. So it's I mean, how wonderful. I just love this. And so this is when they first got there, and the kids, the young ladies, I should say, and they wouldn't appreciate me calling them kids. Were performing from them. And of course, the top, you could see Mind Matters. Harry and Meghan were doing a speech for them. Not a speech, but speaking to the teens about mental health. And so this is really good. I think it was like a 2-day summit, but I know the Sussexes was there for the first day. I don't know if they went for the second day, but so yeah. But and then I was like, just to be because I hadn't noticed her hair before. I love Meghan's hair in the picture on the top right. I just love like the little twist she has in the back. And one of the things that Missan actually, because I think Daniel, Megan's, one of her besties, and he's the makeup artist. He had posted, and I think it was on Instagram or something, that because somebody had asked, I think they had asked him if he was there in Nigeria with Meghan. He's like, no, she's there by herself. She doesn't have a dresser or a makeup artist or a hair person. She is doing all of this herself. She's doing her own fashion, her own makeup, her own hair, everything. It's just her. She doesn't have or like a beauty entourage or anything. So everything you saw Meghan wearing, or how she looked, or her hair, or her makeup, it's all her doing it herself. And so it was really cool. And so Missan, when someone brought that post over to X, and Missan responded, "It's like very true." And so obviously he's a photographer, so he would see. And also very good friend, one of Meghan's besties. Actually, he said their relationship is like Meghan is like his sister. So they have really a great friendship. And so he says like, yeah, this is all Meghan. She did all of the stuff by herself. So yeah, no glam squad in Nigeria with Meghan. So but I mean, these photos are absolutely beautiful. And here are the others. These were the first set he posted, and then the others were the second set. And so these are the other set for, and you can see the little kids. I love, love, love the little, the top left with the little child. There's another one. I think I have it a little bit later on with Harry and her, like they're touched like E.T. But the bottom picture, the kids, I mean, look at their little eyes. I mean, they're so cute. They're so absolutely cute. And then these, there was a video, and I think I had posted it in our community page, where Harry and Meghan were doing the jumper, stand up, jump around, whatever that little song the kids were singing. These photos are from there. And so this is the day they visited, and they were singing on the ground. But part of that is that they was jumping up and doing this interactive things with the kids, where they were jumping up and jumping around and all of that stuff. So very, very, very cool. So thank you, Missan Harriman. I know every squatty is like, thank you. And there are some other photos coming up later from Missan. And again, Missan basically deals with black and white. We'll see some color as well coming up in a little bit later, but he basically deals with black and white, and it's just absolutely, I mean, that is why I was just, when we heard they were going, that was one of my first things. Missan has to be there. David Weissman has to be there, and they were both there. So very, very, very cool. And Lorna said David Martin also did an interview with Us Weekly saying that Meghan was doing it herself. Excellent article. Oh, I didn't realize that. I don't really read Us Weekly, so I didn't realize he did. Also, maybe that's where they got the because they posted a screenshot of. I thought it came from Instagram, so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's where I saw it, because someone had posted like a screenshot or something on X, and that's where I saw it. And so yeah, so I will check out that article. But yeah, Misson confirmed. Actually, he did a couple of times that yes, Meghan is the one that did all her outfit. She did her hair, her makeup. It was all her. She didn't have she didn't have the quote unquote glam squad with her. So there you go. Um, let's see what else you guys are saying in the chat. Maybe not saying anything at all. Yes, that's right. Churchnell is like, Misson takes great pictures. He is a master, and especially these black and whites, man. Oh my goodness. It's so you just want to jump in and turn into a black and white photo yourself. At least I do. I absolutely do want to jump into the photos. So beautiful. Let's see. What else before we go along? And it's funny with this, talking about all of this. Well, apart from these photos, because I only saw them today, but everything else we're going to be talking about, I literally recorded a entire episode last night, and then by the end of it, I think I was so tired, I had no idea what I was saying, and I was like, you know what? Let's just do this as a live today, because I'm like, I did a whole almost hour episode, and I'm like, what am I talking about? I was so tired because, I was trying to do it about midnight last night. That just did not work. So there we go. Hence, you're going to be hearing like a day and a half old information, which I'm sure some of you may have heard before, or maybe not. And maybe the first time you're hearing it. If you've heard it before, bear with us. Bear with the ones who may not have. But let's see. At least some of it anyway. Okay. Moving on. 1 second. Let's just clear this. Thank you, Church Nelly. Yes, he does take great pictures. And so I know that many of you have seen this. The last time, which was a couple of days ago, when I did the last episode, I talked about just this whole thing with Archewell, just how ridiculous this whole thing was. I mean, the whole thing was just literally just paperwork. They had to update their paperwork or maybe their website, or just, process the new checks and all of that stuff, or if they really lost the first one, whatever. But it was very obvious what it was. And again, Americans go through this all the time when they're dealing with an agency that really you have to send in physical checks and physical forms. There's always inevitably some problems because, again, due to nobody was looking to lose things, but it's just the nature of things. Until they become really adept at getting all of this stuff digital, then that's the issue that we're going to be facing until they do. Some agencies are more advanced than others. This one, I guess you have to file literal hard copies of stuff. And so this is all, I mean, you look and you read any of the articles about this stuff, that was the first thing that stuck out. It's like, oh, this is just a regular processing thing. It takes a few days and it updates itself. And so, but the way how the press went about this was so ridiculous. It was so ridiculous. And watching the American press just sort of, we need clicks, so let's, follow the nonsense narrative of the British press, and just, they all wanted to just have Meghan and Harry's name next to the word delinquent. That's what because they knew if they did that, they would get clicks. This is what they did. And so within a day, obviously, this stuff was cleared up. Fox News and others contacted the office. Now I can't even remember the name of the office that deals with the foundation stuff, and they cleared it up. No, they're fine. They are updated. They're up to date. They are current. All of the stuff they did, and so that was cleared up. And then yesterday, Gavin Newsom, who's the governor of California, he was doing a mental health initiative thing, and he was doing a press conference based on this mental health thing. And so he basically addressed this whole thing, and he did exactly what I was saying the whole time. It's like the thing was so overhyped and ridiculous that it was just like, you would think there's something major the way how people were reporting this stuff, and it's just like, come on. And I think that the fact that the governor, I mean, California has a lot of problems, a whole lot of problems, as like New York, but for him to stop, and again, he didn't do a press conference to talk about the Sussexes, but he addressed the overhyped narrative and this crazy over the top narrative that a lot in the press, and really US reporters, US news outlets, they know better. And it was just really disgusting to see what some of them were doing with this, and pretending like, oh, it's like nobody has ever heard of this kind of thing happening before, and it's just like so ridiculous. And so this is, if just in case you didn't hear it, this is what the governor said about this situation.
Amount of attention that has been placed on the Archewell Foundation. I'm here at a behavioral health site, a mental health site. Archewell Foundation, run by Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, do extraordinary work, particularly women and girls, but notably around mental health. And I just want folks to know, not only are they in compliance, it was a technical paperwork issue that was wildly over hyped. And with respect, I hope people that ran those headlines run this headline, that it was a very typical technical issue around paperwork that persists for so many others as well. And they're in full compliance, and they're a celebrated organization that does great work in the state of California. So I wanted to clarify that because that's important. And I just thought there was a little bit of piling on that was deeply unfair.
And so that's what the governor had to say, which every word he said was true. It was deeply unfair. So many other organizations have had stuff like this happen, and then they had to clear it up, and nobody jumps on it like, it was like a feeding frenzy. And like you said, it was grossly unfair because, again, you have to think of the reputation of a foundation. To do this is for something that is so normal, unfortunately, is a normal thing that happens in the US, that it was grossly unfair. And so the governor spoke about it. Some in the media don't appreciate that the governor basically called them out. And and I'm glad the governor was like, I hope those people who ran those crazy headlines will run this headline where he is calling them out. And don't yesterday when I looked, the majority of them did not put in their headlines that the governor called them out or the governor corrected their lies or their misinformation. A lot of them still went with because the whole goal is to have Harry and Meghan and the word delinquent in the headline. And so they ran with Harry and Meghan no longer delinquent. All they wanted to do is have those three words in their headline. I think I only saw a couple of news outlets. I think Huffington Post was one of them that posted put in their headlines about the governor. And so it was just really ridiculous. And I'm really happy that the Sussexes put out this statement. They said in a statement, an Archewell, and this is from Harper's Bazaar, says in a statement, an Archewell Foundation spokesman said, "We have diligently investigated the situation and can confirm that Archewell Foundation remains fully compliant and in good standing. Due payments were made promptly and in accordance with the IRS processes and procedures. Furthermore, all necessary paperwork had been filed by the foundation without error or wrongdoing." So again, it's ridiculous that they had to go through all of this stuff, but I'm glad they put this out there and put this statement out there, and hopefully that is the rest. But I think, again, it's just everything with Harry and Meghan is just, it's like a feeding frenzy. It's like, leave these people alone. And even some of us in the squad, I think look, my thing, I have the same feeling as I did when we talked about it, a couple of episodes ago when it was all happening. My thing is, look, even if in the worst case scenario that the Sussexes had made the mistake or they filed late or whatever, even if that was the situation, I think all of us need to stop freaking out about every single thing that happens, or if they made a mistake or if they did something wrong, whatever. We in the squad need to stop freaking out, because I know that some in the squad, I didn't see it personally, but I know many in the squad are talking about it. about some of us who have been freaking out about this stuff because, I guess some people just thought that the Sussexes did something wrong and they were freaking out. How could they do, it was almost like, oh my gosh, the end of the world, that the Sussexes could have made a mistake. And it's just like, some of us in the squad need to literally walk away from social media, close X or whatever platform we're on, and go outside and touch grass when it comes to our faves. Because we need to give people space to make mistakes. We need to give people space to grow. We need to give people space to fall on their faces, if so be it. That is how people grow. And we cannot freak out every time something, is not perfect. As much as I love, and we all love Harry and Meghan, they're human beings. They are not perfect. They're never going to be perfect. They're going to make mistakes. They're going to fall on their face. They're going to do the wrong things. They may do the things that are so wrong, and then they have to backtrack and try to do it. And that is just life. And that's just how we grow as people. If we didn't do those things, we would never grow. Think of a child. This is how children grow, by falling over. They try to stand up, they fall over, they smash their head into things, burst open their head, and they know not to go do that. They try to put their hands in fire, and then it's like, oh my gosh, and parents are like, no, you know what I mean? They would do crazy. That's how we all are. That's how you grow, to know what to do and what not to do when you make big mistakes and fall on your face. So in the worst case scenario, we've got to learn to not freak out about these things. And so it's like, hopefully this is a good lesson for whomever it was in the squad that has been freaking out. And a lot, whenever things happen, I remember, even when the Sussexes were going home, when the Queen was alive, and there was a whole big hubbub in the squad. We have to give people space to grow and make their own decisions. And they may not be decisions that we're going to like, so I just put this out there as a broad thing for us. It's like, again, some of us need to get away from social media or podcasts or wherever and go outside, focus on our own lives, and touch grass and smell some flowers or something, because this is crazy. We can't hold people to these perfection standards that we don't have, a lot of us don't have for ourselves. Stop doing that. Because then we're doing exactly what the British press are trying to do to Sussexes, holding them to a different standard than other people. What the royals try to do with them, holding them to a different standard. We cannot do that. When you love someone, you give them space to grow and make the mistakes that they want to do, that they need to make to grow. So I'm just going to. That's it. That's all I need to say on that. This is over. Hopefully, I don't hear about this nonsense ever again. And if it happens next year, they'll deal with it, and then we all move on. So there we go. Unbelievable. So what else is happening with our faves? I'm telling you, I don't know when these two had time to sleep. They did all of these things that we didn't really know that they did. And it was just such a wonderful thing yesterday to find out that not only did they do the events that we know about, that was, say, on the schedule that they told everyone about, they also did a meet up with people in different situations that we didn't know about until they posted it. For example, the Save the Children Foundation posted this yesterday, and we didn't realize it was happening. And the cool thing about it, with Misan being there, is that Misan is the global ambassador, or at least one of the global ambassadors for Save the Children. And you can see Misan in the bottom picture with the orange outfit next to Prince Harry. And so him being there, it's funny because I didn't know where all the chapters of Save the Children was. So I didn't even think about it being in Nigeria, or at least the part of Nigeria where they were. So it was really a pleasant surprise to see them post this and see this yesterday. I know Misan, they were all tweeting about it. I was like, wow, this is so cool that they, Harry and Meghan, took the time to go and meet with the ambassadors and different people from Save the Children. And I remember, I think Harry and Meghan, through Save the Children, also donated, because I think there was a flood in Nigeria, I think it was a couple of years ago, and through Save the Children, they had donated to to the organization, so and also donated to help in the situation with the flood. So the Standard, so funny, they because I guess the Save the Children UK is the one that put out the press release yesterday, and so they did it through the Standard yesterday. And so it says Prince Harry and Meghan Markle meet Save the Children staff in Nigeria. The Duke and Duchess attended the event after invitation from global ambassador Misan Harriman. And what an incredible global ambassador he is. Does a lot of he speaks up a lot for them, and about really literally saving children. It says Prince Harry and Meghan Markle met with Save the Children staff in Nigerian capital of Abuja last week. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex were invited to the event by Charity Global Ambassador, Director, and activist Misan Harriman. At the event, Meghan and Harry were introduced to two youth ambassadors, Miriam 23 and Purity 19, who spoke about their work addressing issues ranging from child marriage to gender-based violence, access to education and healthcare, and the plight of internally displaced children. And I guess that's Miriam and Purity at the top there with Harry and Meghan. Gemma Sherrington, UK CEO for Save the Children, said, there are different clips, so these are just two clips of this is one clip of what she said, but this is a part of it. She says, child champions and youth ambassadors are the beating heart of our work in Nigeria. So for the two of them to have this opportunity to speak with Prince Harry and Meghan and to shine a spotlight on their tireless advocacy to protect the rights of children is phenomenal. And it goes on to the article goes on to talk about, in depth about the work that they do in Nigeria. And so this is just really great. And also too, with this platform with Harry and Meghan being there and it being part of the tour, this is wonderful spotlight to shine on this organization, because it's so needed, whether it's in Nigeria, in the Congo, because there is also a genocide going on there, which is horrendous. What's going on in Palestine, I mean, have talked about this numerous times. And so they are all over trying to do everything they can to really save children's lives. So it's a really incredible organization. And so it's really great that this big spotlight is shining on them. So hopefully more and more people can get involved, whether it's by donating or also by volunteering or whatever, to help literally save children. So this this wasn't part of the official it wasn't part of the official schedule, but it's great to see Harry and Meghan taking time out of that schedule and jumping in and being there for Save the Children. So, and also being there for Misan, and it's just I love this, because again, Misan's there photographing them, and then they got to support his organization that they've supported before, and I love their friendship. I love how they are their motto is show up and do good, and that's what they do. They're just literally just showing up and doing good. And it's just so beautiful to see. And it's just like, even when people are kicking up and screaming like, they shouldn't be in Nigeria, that place has all these problems, as they've been doing in Shutter Island. You can't, you see stuff like this, you're like, okay, it's amazing. I love the fact. I love what they're doing. And so many people appreciate it. And talk about other things that we didn't know about. And judging from the outfit Harry and Meghan are wearing, this seems to have been after, I'm assuming it was after, I'm assuming it was after the polo that this take place, or may have been before, but it seems to be after the polo. They did this, not that it was an event, but it's like meeting of these people. It says General Ty and distinguished distinguished Daisy Danjuma, who is actually Daisy Danjuma is a senator. She's a politician in Nigeria. Graciously welcomed and hosted the Duke and Duchess of Sussex to a most exquisite private gathering at their home. This came after the royals visited wounded warriors at the Army Hospital, Kaduna, the day before. A touching tribute to Prince Harry's mother, their compassion shines bright. Princess Diana would be proud of the both of them. So yet Sasika, this was from her Instagram account where she posted this rather exquisite about this rather exquisite engagement with Harry and Meghan meeting General Ty and his wife Daisy. And so I mean it's just like things that we didn't know, all the things that's like, oh, their days were filled up. It was just a meeting, whether it's the official engagements or apart from that. And we talked about the last episode, them meeting with one of the recipients of the Diana Award, and so that wasn't on the official schedule either. And one thing I had to appreciate, especially say Harry, in like the space of 10 days, Harry was on 3 continents and 3 different time zones. And it's just like, I don't know I can't imagine how he must be feeling, in terms of, say, jet lag and all of that stuff, because I think Nigeria is 6 hours ahead of New York. California, they are like 9 hours behind. And so trying to figure out how to sleep within a short span of 4 days, I can't imagine what the jet lag would have been like. And for them to be, they had to be feeling it. For them to be out and giving and smiling and engaged and just giving the whole time, it's just like, I hope they're home sleeping and just taking like 2 weeks to recover. Probably not. But, but I appreciate this so much. And they just look so happy. And so, these are just some other photos from it. Chris Barron Smith is that squatty posted about it as well. I think sort of from the same account. Yet Sasika's account says Nigerian General Theophilus Tai, and that's the Tai Danjuma that was mentioned in the last slide. So he's a military general Theophilus Tai Danjuma, and his wife, Senator Daisy Danjuma, hosted the Duke and Duchess of Sussex at their home. The Duchess walks hand in hand with the distinguished Senator Daisy Danjuma. And so this is all from these were from she also had posted little clips of it. So from a video of it with her and Meghan. She was holding Meghan's hand as they walking into the house. And so very cool. It was just very nice to see just the relationships that they're building with the people. And I'm telling you, Meghan and Harry are home. They were home. They're just the welcome and the love and just the embrace. It just, I could understand when Harry says, we'll be back. This is the first that would be the first of many visits. I'd go back too. Many times. So yeah, looking forward to see when they go back to Nigeria. And let's see. Trish Deli says, no offense, but I wish they would just call them Harry and Meghan. Oh, well, I mean, because I guess it's the, I don't know yet Sasika. I don't know what her title is, but I think maybe because, sometimes depending on where your position is in life, you refer to people in different ways. And again, Harry and Meghan, it's the first time meeting them. They're not like besties yet. And maybe later on they'll feel comfortable calling them just Harry and Meghan. But, that could be it too. So, and, sometimes people just rather address people by their official titles. So, but now that Meghan is a princess, we're calling her just Princess Meghan. We're not dealing with the Duchess thing anymore. She is Princess Meghan. So there you go. Let's see. Oh, Dr. Dredd said, oh, that's his whole name. Theophilus Yakubu Danjuma. Oh wow, that's some name, man. Theophilus Yakubu Danjuma. Wow, very cool. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, Vanzola says, but they won't be sleeping. Harry and Meghan said that they have chatty children. That's very true. When you have toddlers, oh my goodness. Sleeping, well, I mean, Archie is in school, so he would be in school, but chatty little Lily, I would, yeah. Sleeping is hard when you have toddlers. I mean, literally, if you teach or you babysit, even if you're not a mom, and you have a toddler, like literally going to the bathroom is a challenge because they want to follow you and you're like, no, sit by the door, and they try, you can't get away from them. I saw this really cool post, and I think it was X. Someone, a mom with two toddlers and a dog. She had this. I guess they bought this huge cage for the dog, and I guess they have pillows in there. Maybe that's where the dog sleeps and whatever. And she's like, finally today, I realized what this huge cage is for. What she did was she went into the cage, put some pillows in there, and had, like, I think her coffee and a book and is reading, locked it, and the kids are outside trying to get into the cage. And she knows they're not going to go anywhere because, again, with toddlers, they're literally under your feet. They would not leave you alone. So it was the funniest thing that I saw. I was like, yep, moms could understand that. So yes. Yes, Princess Meghan. Khadijah says, Petal, thanks for showing those photos. Yes, I mean, Miss On posted them today. It's just beautiful. Absolutely, absolutely beautiful. Lorna says, they're probably asking a lot of why in Meghan and Harry household. Of course. Of course. It's the whys. It's like, why? Until you get to the because I said so. I think every parent or teacher or whatever have gotten to the place was like, because I said it is. That's it. Don't ask anymore. I think Harry even mentioned that in one, I think in the interview he did at The Hague with Hoda. I think he mentioned about that. About saying because I said. Let's say. Moving on. What else do we have here? Talk about Misan. Misan, and again, this was all I was going to talk about yesterday, but Misan posted this yesterday, I think it was. And normally we're used to Misan black and white, as we just saw, but Misan took these photos, and I'm so happy, and I'm sure he has them in black and white as well. But it's so cool to see it in bright color, and so he posted this. It's like Princess Meghan Adamazi Omu of Archewell. And it's like, oh, these are her names. And it's just like, oh my goodness. And it's actually on her sash, Adamazi Omu of Archewell. And so that is our Duchess with 3 of the 4 kings that went to Lagos to greet her and welcome her. And as Harry said, perform a naming ceremony. So yeah, very, very, very cool. Our princess. Princess Meghan. Very, very, I mean, how amazing is this? Absolutely amazing. I just absolutely love it. And he also posted this. He says, a joyous moment with hang on. That go away. Oh, hang on. Go away. There we go. There we go. So it's a joyous moment with Obi of Onitsha, His Majesty Igwe Alfred Ashibe. I hope I said that right. And the Olu of Wari, His Majesty Ojiami Otsuwatsi III, and the Duke and Duchess of Sussex in Lagos. I mean, they were having a grand old time. and as Harry said, the naming ceremony. I mean, the joy. The absolute joy of this. I would love to hear what they were talking about. I mean, obviously, we only heard a little bit of what one of the kings were saying, and then, of course, a little bit of Meghan and a little bit of Harry. But such a joyous occasion, this naming ceremony. And of course, I'm sure we'll at some point get the black and white of this as well, because again, that is Misan's that's his thing. So absolutely wonderful. Oh my goodness. I'm like, I can't believe it's over. I was so ready to stay in Nigeria for like a week. I can't believe it's over. It was just so much joy and love packed into what 4 days that it's like, oh my gosh, can we just stay here forever? You know, I love it. And these are some more Misan. I'm telling you, Misan is just fed us. These are some more of Misan's black and whites that he posted. And I literally, I mean, I responded to him. I'm like, Misan, these looks like stills from a movie. You know, you really, I looked at this and I'm like, I expect to see like Sidney Poitier or Sir Laurence Olivier or somebody in the background. They, for me, they look like movie stills. And I love them. I mean, look at especially that one with Meghan coming and Harry coming down the stairs, and Harry glaring at the ground the stairs like, "Don't you let my wife trip," as he always does. And it's like the airplane in the background. I mean, it's like it's what like it looks like one of those classic movies. I'm like, this is just fantastic. My whole podcast, I guess, is about Misan's photos. I mean, look at these. And it's so funny. I saw today that, and I'll put it in our community page just in case anyone wants to purchase. The person I'm assuming is the lady that gave Megan this skirt. She is selling that, and she has a picture of Megan. I think it's one of these photos of Megan and one of her wearing it. A beautiful, beautiful, beautiful skirts. And I was like, oh my goodness, I have to check one of those out. I'd love to have one myself. So it's not a skirt. It's like a drape, and you tie it into, yeah, it's like a wrap you wrap around. So I guess it's like a wrap skirt, you want to call it. But yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. But again, again, I'm looking at this and it looks like movie stills to me. It's absolutely beautiful. So I don't know what Misan is doing for the rest of his life, but whenever Harry and Meghan travel, Misan has to be there, because yes, I appreciate Chris Jackson and his work, but they just take different type of photography. They just focus on different things. Misan is just he is able to capture the emotions and all of those things, and it's just amazing. So hopefully Misan Misan is there whenever they're doing any other tours. And the next episode I'll actually focus on these different articles. But there is, I think it was a People article, even though I'm not here for People right now, but the Sussexes did an interview with People Magazine, which People Magazine is sort of piecemealing out so they can make as much money from this interview as they possibly can, because I think by now they have written 6 or 7 articles about this one interview, about things, quotes from Harry and Meghan. And so I think I saw a screenshot today or maybe somebody clicked a quote from the article, which I'll talk about in the next episode, is that while they were on tour, that Harry and Meghan have received offers from other places to come and visit. So don't be surprised if Harry and Meghan pretty soon announced they're going to, whether it's Kenya, I would not be surprised. I'm thinking that they would go there because they also want to be a part of Invictus Games. But other countries want the Sussexes to come, and they've already received invitations while they were in Nigeria. So that was People Magazine today. So I would, and at the same time, I saw someone post a screenshot of, I don't remember which one of the news outlets in the UK, claiming that Charles and William are very angry and they're gonna ask Commonwealth countries to not invite the Sussexes. I was like, please shut up and go away. Shut up and go away. And so, I mean, whether that is true or not, or whether there's, the tabloids in the UK just need to write something, who knows? But they have apparently that Charles and William are going to be asking other countries to not invite, like, that maybe have worked in the 80s. I think we're in a different place now. But anyway, one of the places, again, that the Sussexes visited was the Giants of Africa with Iji. Masai Ujiri, who was with the Toronto Raptors, obviously, and started this organization in, I think, one of the co-founders actually of this organization, and where obviously we talked about and you saw photos of Harry and Meghan there. Well, they put out this really cute video of Harry and Meghan's time, and so these are just clips from stills from that video. So I'm going to put it in our community page so you can see it. So they posted this along with the video that says, reflecting on the past weekend, we're excited to share these highlights from the basketball clinic in Lupiju. I'm not sure if I said that right. With Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. So again, I'm going to post it in our community page. It's really cool to just highlights of the time that Harry and Meghan spend with the kids. Of course, we know some of the kids also are in wheelchairs, so they have like their basketball, and then they also have wheelchair basketball. And this is also the organization that Harry and Meghan have pledged to help fund the basketball, expand the program to put this actual program in the capital as well. So very, very exciting to see. Maybe Harry and Meghan will be back in Nigeria when that opens, and to, christen it in a way. So I'll post it just in case you hadn't seen it. I'll post that in our community page so that you can see it. So very cool. And then, oh goodness, even with all this wonderful news and Harry and Meghan literally just showing up and doing good. I mean, look at all the stuff Harry did in the UK, even before they got to Nigeria. Not only he was there for Invictus, but meeting with Scotty's, the little what are they, little soldiers, Scotty's little soldiers, they're called. I think that's what they're called. And meeting with them, again, these are kids who've lost parents in military action. And Harry is now their global ambassador. He's been with that organization for years. And they have really, last year, he became their global ambassador. So when he was in the UK, it was the first time since he became a global ambassador that he was able to have FaceTime with them. And he spent like a whole few hours, I guess, with them, playing games with them, talking with them. They had an amazing time. They put out a video. They've been posting on X about it all the time. I mean, they had a really fantastic time. They had BBC there covering the event. Harry even gave a little interview with the BBC about his time there, meeting with them, and then all the things that they did in Nigeria over the weekend. And in spite of all of those things, the UK, the racism in the UK it just like bubbles over on them. And these are the same people, when you point it out, they're like, don't call me racist. I'm not racist. You're the one who's racist. You're the one who's always pulling the race card. Yet the racism just oozes out of their pores. And so the thing about it, and the thing that I've always had to remember when I started seeing all those posts in videos on X with reporters in the UK just saying the most racist things, is the reason why they're doing it. And this quote from Toni Morrison always comes back, and it always be like, you know what? Yeah, this is why they're doing it. And again, if you haven't heard this quote, it's very famous quote, says the very serious function of racism is distraction. It keeps you from doing your work. It keeps you explaining over and over again your reason for being. Somebody says you have no language, and you spend 20 years proving that you do. Somebody says your head isn't shaped properly, so you have scientists working on the fact that it is. Somebody says you have no art, so you dredge that up. Somebody says you have no kingdom, so you dredge that up. None of this is necessary. There will always be one more thing. No matter what we do, no matter how much we give, no matter how high we reach, no matter what we accomplish, no matter how much we serve, it's never going to be enough. They're always going to move the goalposts. So we cannot allow their racism to distract us. This is what it's meant to do. It's meant to, when you're doing something good, when you're forward and you're going forward in your life and you are achieving and you are doing what you want to do. The reason why racist people would throw this at you is to distract you from your course. It's to distract you from doing what you need to be doing, because they know if they don't distract you, you are going to achieve things that most likely they will never get to. And they don't want you to achieve that stuff. They don't want you. So they throw in this to pull you down, to distract you. So when you're focusing on their racist behavior, you can't focus on what you're supposed to be doing to grow and to in whatever ways that we are growing. And that's why these people do this. They know. And it's so funny because on our last episode, and who was it? Oh my goodness. I forget who it was that came on. And I was, I think we were talking about the reason why people attack, and I think it's like attacking Meghan or something like that. And one of who was it that came on, and she said the reason why they do stuff like that is because they're afraid of us. They're afraid of our strength and they're afraid of our power. And if one of you guys could remind me who it was so powerful. Some people in the chat were like, wow, that gave me chills. And she was talking about our power, and that is what scares them. Our power and our strength, they can't match it. So they will throw racism. This is the thing. And Toni Morrison nailed it. The very serious function of racism is distraction. If they can hurt you with it, if they can tell you that because of your skin color or because of whatever, oh, it's your Libby. Thank you so much. Thank you. I was just like, who it was, because we had different ones on. I couldn't remember which one that said it. Thank you. Thank you. And it was just like, yeah, she's like, it's because they're afraid of our power. They see the strength, they see the power, can't handle it. And it's like amazing because, that's right, we're talking about the kings. And it's just like, sometimes they would like try to, bring down, like, they look down on they, or at least elevate the UK ones and not respect or look down on the African kings. And the thing was that, no, when the queen came to Nigeria, they didn't come to meet her. She went to see them. They didn't leave their palaces for her. They left for Meghan. Queen Elizabeth had to come and see them. And she was talking about the power, and that's what it is. And you look at the people who attack Meghan, especially say Meghan the most. You look at them and you realize, yeah, they would never get to where she is. And a lot of that stuff is, I want to knock you down. I want what you have and I can't have it. So I want to do whatever I can to bring you down lower. So then, one, I could feel better about myself. And two, that if I bring you down, maybe I could get better than you. And so I think we have to, as a people, not allow people's racist behavior to distract us. Yes, address it, whatever, but then just turn away and go your business. Don't get off your path because of their racist behavior. And one of the things that was happening, why this whole thing came up, was reporter, not him and others as well, post this stuff about comparing Harry and Meghan to Wallace Simpson and Prince, what is it? Edward, I guess, whatever his name was. And Wallace Simpson, they always do that, comparing Meghan and them, and then comparing Nigeria and claiming that Nigeria's human rights record is not very far off from Nazi Germany. And I mean, you think about that, and you think about, this is coming from someone who is British. And I talk so much about British and their lack of self-awareness. These people, I mean, this should, when you think about human rights and Nazi Germany, people in the UK should be the last person to be talking about human rights. The last, especially right now when the UK, along with the United States, are literally engaged in genocide in Palestine, which we talk about all. I mean, I talk a lot about the US because that's where I am, but UK is right there. And so for someone from the UK to be coming down on Nigeria and and attacking Nigeria's human rights record while actively engaging in genocide at the moment, it's like the lack of self-awareness is unreal to me. And so he posted this stuff and then apparently deleted it. But again, with X, you could delete it, but X doesn't forget. People screenshot things. It's so fast, so it lives. So his posts have been going around social media all over the place, and now it's in Nigeria. And so Arise News did a whole thing on this, and so the people of Nigeria and news outlets in Nigeria and different places in Africa have picked up this story, and this other reporter that said some really derogatory things about Nigeria and it's like and different parts of I mean the way how they look down on African countries and Caribbean countries. This is why I never understood, think in terms of the Commonwealth, I never understood why African and Caribbean countries are part of this Commonwealth nonsense. And even if they are, why they would allow the Queen to twist their arm to have King Charles as the head of the Commonwealth. I would never understand that mess. I would never agree with that mess. And so what this is exposing is that more and more people in different parts of Africa, different parts of the Caribbean are now really tuning in to the way how the UK, especially their reporters, view Africa, how the lack of respect, the way, the derogatory way, how they put the country down, the countries down, it really the continent down, or maybe South Africa is the only one that they don't do that to because again, but it really boggles the mind to the point where there is one of the I guess it was one of those talk shows in the UK where they literally were saying about Nigeria how the other members of the royal family would never go to Nigeria. And so people are posting on X with the Queen and Prince Charles and Camilla were in Nigeria. While this, and I'm telling you, you think of UK report. I don't think I've ever come across press people or reporters or people who want to be known as journalists who are as ignorant as British reporters. They say some things and you're like, how did you ever get a job as a journalist? Like, I don't even understand. Like, what is the process? Like, what do you have to be good at when you got this job? Because the ignorance is so high. It's unbelievable. I mean, talk about not knowing your history and not knowing date. Oh goodness. But anyways, I say all that to say, in spite of all of this, he meant it as really to tear down the Sussexes and to tear down in every way, shape, or form Nigeria. But what is happening is it has awakened people to what the realities are of what it is that is going on, and some people who didn't really understand just how they what they did to Meghan all of a sudden are understanding, like, oh, this is why she had to leave. This is how they really view us. This is and so people are like, well, why are we part of this Commonwealth? So more and more it's opening up conversation that probably wouldn't have happened if people hadn't really been saying this stuff and now they're exposed. And I'm telling you, one of the things that we've been saying forever is like the British press will be the death of the UK. They have made their country, it's like they're making their country a stench in the world. And it's just like every time they open their mouths, every time these reporters open their mouths, they sink their country even further. It is unbelievable. But anyways, the good thing is people are now becoming even more aware, and they are, I mean, he has been dragged from all, every which way. It is unbelievable. So it is, for me, that is good to see. It's good to see that people are speaking out and now understanding, just, and not tolerating the British and their racist behavior. So anyways, moving on away from that. I'm like, what is this mess? We talk a lot about MBE, OBE, CBE, and how the royal family uses that thing to basically buy influential black people. I mean, not just there are other people that that receive these so-called honors, but specifically influential black Brits. They we've talked about this at nauseum. I feel like I'm like just repeating myself all the time with this stuff. But they, again, they use this stuff to silence influential black Brits, because you will never ever 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 hear one of these black Brits who have received these so-called honors speak out against the royal family's racist behavior. They will never do it, and that's why they give them this stuff. They buy their silence. We've talked about this for years. I remember when Pamela was on here, she and I had this whole episode about this stuff. And so you see this stuff all the time. What I didn't know is that they have yesterday, well, this is them, Charles and Camilla. Yesterday, it says the King and the Queen Camilla arrive at St. Paul's Cathedral for a service of dedication for the Order of the British Empire this morning. That's right. So they had all of these people who received these so-called honors come for service of dedication. Like, why? Why do they need the service exactly? What went on? I mean, I'd love to know what exactly they do. It is, I mean, are they pledging something? Like, what exactly? But what's very interesting to me is this is the same church that Harry was last week for Invictus. That's Harry on the side there. And what is also very interesting is who was there and who wasn't. Because we hear this narrative all the time, how Harry and Meghan are afraid to come back, especially Meghan, because they are afraid to be booed. They're afraid to be booed, and oh my goodness, people wouldn't show up for them, and how the country hate them, and how they're the least popular, and all of this stuff. Well, we remember last week when Harry got there, that all of these Brits showed out for Harry. Harry came out, and people were screaming and shouting and applauding him and telling him how much they love him. There are all these people out there for Harry. Yesterday, service of dedication stuff, they had all these barriers up, and very few people were there. And only one person posted a video of someone saying, Charles, Camilla. One person. It was the funniest thing. Maybe I should post that video. I saved it. And so it was the funniest thing. And you know what's interesting? I looked everywhere among the British reporters, and maybe it's there and I just didn't see it. But I looked because they always try to, they always want to post that, oh, showed up for this one and this large crowd showed up for that one. I haven't seen anywhere where anybody post the crowds, because there was a video and it scanned and there was hardly anybody there. And the only person who was shouting was that one person saying, Charles, Camilla, is that you? I'll post it. Yes, Lola Love. I'll post it on our community page. It is hilarious. But again, compared, this is the King and Queen. And nobody showed up for them. And there was Harry. And so many people showed up. To the point where he had to go and greet some of them and do a little impromptu walkabout. And so it was very funny to me when I saw that. And again, I want to know more what they were doing at that Order of the British Empire. And again, if you're a Black person and you are there, shame on you. Literally, shame on you. If you're a Black Brit at this, dedication of the Order of the British Empire, like, seriously? Gross. Utterly gross. Talking about that, what happened here? What on earth happened? One of our squaddies posted it. She's like, what I ordered and what I got. I'm like, what did Camilla do to this outfit? I'm like, how did, like, were there no pictures that she could have looked at to see what the queen and how the queen presented this ridiculous robe thing? Like, what on earth did she do? I saw that. I was just like, oh my goodness. Really? She has assistants. She has people who dresses her. And like, how do you let the queen walk out looking like this? Did you not have? I mean, maybe Angela, Angela took all her lookbooks and they have nothing to, But I mean, Google, hello, Google. I'm like, what? How do you have the queen? I mean, look at what the queen looked like. Look at what Camilla looked like. How do you let the queen walk out of the house looking like this? I mean, this is craziness. And I forgot to put in the picture with William. I will talk about that another time. But William dressed up with this fake, Charles giving him this honor, this passing down this patronage that he had from the military, and William cosplaying military and dress up. It's just like, dude, just take this clothes off. You just look stupid in it. It's the same thing. I'm like, what happened to the dresses? I mean, hello. Meghan was doing a whole 4-day tour that was doing it all by herself. One of these dresses couldn't look at Camilla and say, like, well, this is no, this is not going to work looking like this. And she is so clueless. She's like, oh, I'm beautiful in my red whatever dress. And it's just like, no, this is a hot mess. I was like, just Google the queen in this outfit. So you give you so, I mean, and I'm not here for fashion. I don't care either way, but look, she's the queen. You don't let your queen walk out looking like this. I was just like, good Lord. It's just like a hot mess. So, Queen Betty is like turning over in her grave, like, oh my Lord. Angela probably took the lookbooks and didn't leave it, but Google is free. You can just Google it. It's like, man, goodness. And then there was this. There's been a lot of debates about this photo. And not photo, but this portrait of King Charles in red, all in red. I mean, there's been so many interpretations of this. And for me, that's good. That is good. And, this painting, some people look at it, and there's a skit from, I think, The Late Show, one of those shows, comedy shows in the US, where they, she's like, it reminds me I need some tampons, because, that whole thing with Charles wanting to be one with Camilla. And some people look at it and they think of it as Charles is in hell with fire, burning in fire. Some people look at it and love it. Some people look at it and hate it because it, for whatever reason. And, and I think that with this, some people put this, that they do, like, they image the shot. So they do an exact shot and they put of this and they put it together, they image it. And so when they put it together, whether this is true or not, when you input it together, and I haven't tried it, but what comes up is the face of this demon Satan, basically, or people's interpretation of what this satanic face looks like. And apparently, if you image on the side and image it from the bottom, it forms a whole like this demonic person. It is just it. Yeah. See, Lorna is like this. She's like, the portrait is given devil come out to play today. Look, see, so many people have so many different. Yeah, a lot of people have this. It looks demonic in a lot of ways. And again, the imaging that people have done when they put it together, in the ways how, for example, there are some spots in, like, right next to Charles on the left hand side, or the right hand side, and as you're looking at it, there are these dark spots that if you image it and put the images together, it literally forms the face of this demonic person. And so some people are like, yeah, they're not trying to hide that, that's basically people say it's like a satanic, looks like a satanic cult and stuff like that. And so there's been so many interpretations of this, and the thing about it is done by this artist Jonathan Yeo. I think that's how he says it. When I looked at it, it is jarring because compared to the ones that say Queen Elizabeth has done, I mean, those are just classic, her with her dog or something like that. This is definitely one where you can, wherever you are in your mind or whatever your history or whatever your thinking is, you can put anything on this photo and it means that to you. And for me, I look at it and I'm like, I love it because and yes, I see all the ways, because I see it in so many different ways. And every time someone says, this is what I see, I'm like, yeah, I see that too. And I think that's what art is. I'm like, as an artist, I'm like, yeah, that's what art is. Because if you have a picture and you see it and it's like, it doesn't evoke something in you, then it's like, okay, it may be just a nice picture, say the Queen and her corgis. But art for me is something where it evokes passion, it evokes emotion. It speaks to you, and everyone look at it and it speaks to them in a whole different ways. And so I'm like, yep, that's what art is. It's neither good, bad. It's not, oh, this is horrible and this is not horrible, or it's great and it's not. None of that. It is just art. It is it's what it speaks to you, and that's when you've done something great. And for me, I'm looking at this, I'm like, this is genius, because there's so many ways you can see this, so many, demonic and otherwise. You can see this. And for me, I love texture. I absolutely love texture, and I love the textures of this. I love the ways. I mean, for me, when I look at it, what I see is fire. I see passion, because that's what red means to me. I see passion. I see flames. I see, intensity. I see power and strength. And then there's that little butterfly that's right there. And so for me, when I think of butterflies, even though when I was a kid, I was not very nice to butterflies, that's another story. But anyways, for me, there's a vulnerability when I think of butterflies, because they're just these gentle, beautiful things with the lightest touches. And so that in the middle of all of that, you have this gentleness of a butterfly. And it's just like, wow. So it just, again, some people love it, some people hate it. But for me, looking at it through an artist's eye, I love it. I love it because for me, it's neither good, bad, or otherwise. It's just, this is what art is. And this is what art is supposed to make you do. It's supposed to evoke especially strong emotions. And whatever that emotion is, that's what art is about. And so when I teach art, and when we talk about art with kids, one of the things I always try to get them out of the headspace of, oh, this is wrong, or this is right, or this is good, or this is bad. I'm like, no, art is just what it is. There's no right or wrong with art. You put it out there and people get whatever they get out of it. And so to do a work where some people have so many different things, I'm like, dude, this is how you've created something. And again, whatever it means for him, whether, demonic or otherwise, that's a whole other issue. But yeah, it just, that, again, for me, I think this is genius. And again, I'm a person, I love textures. So when I saw the textures, I think it was, if you go to, I think it was the MoMA in New York, when I did an art class in college, one of those electives, and it was one of those things where I thought, well, I had to do it. I thought it was an easy class. It's art. How hard can it be? It was hard, because if you're like me, I can't draw a stick person. My dad is an artist. I am an artist. I'm a photographer and filmmaker and stuff in whole different ways. I cannot draw and paint to save my life, but I love trying. And so one of the things we had to do in school is to go, obviously, research in a museum and all that stuff. And at MoMA, one of the things that got me into textures was there's this huge artwork. It was on I think it took up a whole wall. When you come close to it, you can't figure out what it is because it's just texture with putty and all of that stuff. And if you touch it, it's very rough because of the texture. But when you pull back, it's a whole field of flowers. It's the most amazing thing that I've ever seen. And so that got me into textures. And so whenever, so much that I like textures, if you look at the background, my background, with the black there, that tells you how much I love textures, because I love things that it does something. It's just not a flat thing. And so for me, when I saw this and I saw the textures, that's what drew me to it, because there's so many different colors. Not, red is the outstanding color, the outstanding things. But when I look at it, I see red, I see blue, I see yellow, I see pink, I see orange, I see all the different colors that he mixed up. And it's just like, oh, wow. And so, and then I see how he did the face. The only thing I think he got wrong is the hands. I'm like, yeah, King Charles's fingers are really big. Like he has a medical issue with his hands, so his hands swell up and his fingers. So his hands doesn't look like King Charles's hands, but the face looks like King Charles's. When you zoom in on the eyes, it's just very much there. And so yeah. But I mean, again, I totally get some people in the chat are like, Lucifer. Marianne says it could be what I imagine Lucifer or his supreme commander would look like. Yeah, because the color red evokes that sort of thing, especially when it's all over. It evokes something like that. So again, some people see demonic, some people see, flames, like the flames of hell. Some people see that. But again, when I look at it, I don't just see red. I see all the colors that he mixed up to get that. I mean, I see, again, when I'm looking at it, it's like I'm seeing all the different colors all over. So I don't just see the red. And I see, and then I see how all of that, except the hands, are in, brown, and how outstanding that is. And if you zoomed into it, you see how clear and focused the eyes are. And it's very, for me, it's just, again, looking at it from just purely an artistic eye, I just think it's genius work. And so yes, but again, I totally appreciate, I can see all of it, what you say. in the red is like, oh my gosh, it's flames. So Lottie says, well, if you ask me, he looks stupid. That's why too. Again, we have different emotions when it comes to art. and I think that one of the reasons I appreciate this too is that Charles is a painter. He is an artist and a painter. So this I could appreciate here, and he likes sort of some things, I guess, avant-garde things. So I could totally see him. It's like, yeah, very, very different. And so I appreciate that. Connie says, that's horrible. I understand that too, Connie. It's like, I'm not, Connie's not feeling this at all. Mr. Dredd says, oh, can't take any more of this. We'll come back later. Oh, okay. Sorry, Mr. Dredd. Prudence says, hi, Carly. In truth, the devil in disguise. Like I said, this account that posts the imaging, what they're like, yeah, they can't really hide. They don't hide it anymore, do they? So basically, they're saying that they're hiding the demonic stuff in the back, in the painting. So, which could be very true. Because there are a lot of symbolism in art that people hide, that if you're not in tune to it, you wouldn't even notice it's there. But the people who can see it clearly. So yeah, that could be very much too. Marianne says, it could be what I imagine Lucifer. Oh wait, I think I looked at that already. Yeah. Yeah, some people see that. Again, that red. It's funny how that red, that's what we get from it, because again, in history, we've been taught that that's what flames would look like. That's what that red is, one of those colors that evoke so many feelings in us, that it's so negative in so many ways. It's amazing what color a color would do. And because, you think about it, if you took away the color red, what would the feelings be if you left everything there that's there and literally just took away the color red? What would you think of the image? And it's very interesting to me how the passion that the red evokes is just very, very interesting. I think when you work with colors a lot like I do, like I don't see it this, again, I understand it, but I don't see it in the same way, only because I see all the different colors that are in the photo. As the red is the outstanding part, but I see all the other colors as well. So yeah, not all, but the ones I could see. I'm sure there are others in there. That's a mixture. So yeah. Let's see. Carlene says, congratulations to the artist. He captured the true essence of Charles. True. That's true too. I mean, this could be who Charles is. He could be, as some are saying, that, it's a demonic thing. And they could feel like, yeah, they captured it. So however that is, look at her emojis. It's like, ah. And so you know what that means. Sunal Sunrises says, the painting radiates negative energy. I love art history and studied it too. There's some artwork that's repulsive. Okay, so you're repulsed by it. Okay, that's okay. And again, it doesn't make it any less art. It's art. It's just how everyone has a different interpretation, and we see it and we put whatever our history, whatever our feelings and emotion. That again, that's what makes it art. It's neither good nor bad. It's just art. That's what it is. It's how we feel about it. So Beatrice and Dylan says, oh, bless your heart. You have a soft heart. This painting is a no. Thank you, Beatrice. And again, it's not a soft art. I think when, as an artist, I just see it in a different light. That's all. It's like I see things in a different light. And but I mean, I also understand because I see the different perspective of it as well, not just the different colors that are in the painting. I see where it could be demonic. I could see where the flames, because the red, I see it. I wouldn't discount any of this because I see that as well. So I just have a different perspective on how I process it. That's all. Mashar says, in that portrait, Chuck's face and hands look like they were floating meat in a vat of blood and gore and horror movie. So demonic. So true. See, there you go. Okay. Thank you, Mashar. That's how she sees it. And again, let's see. Marianne says, for me, the portrait's interpretation stems from what the mysticism the royal family is wrapped in. It evokes feeling of evil. Very interesting. And so, my question is, if, for example, you take the red out of this photo, just imagine, because he's wearing, what is it, like one of those Scottish uniform things with the kilt and stuff like that. I think that's what he's wearing there. We've seen pictures with him in those things before, right? We've seen pictures of him in this uniform before. If you took away the red from here, would you still have the same feeling of that, the same demonic or hell or fire and brimstone feelings? Would you still have the same feeling if you took the red away from this photo? I mean, from this painting. So is it the painting that you have that is the issue, or is it the color red that's on the painting? So for me, I think that's at least in my head, that's a question to think about. If all the other colors remained and you took away the color red, would you still have the same feeling? Let's see. Madwell says, I see a man standing in the pits of burning alive, and butterfly represents Diana watching him burn. Oh my goodness. This is intense. Very, very intense. Connie says it looks demonic. There you go. There you go. But again, I asked the question, if you took away the color red, would you have the same feeling? Let's see. Lady Winwood says the way he treated Princess Diana and Prince Harry, I'm sorry, and Lady Diana, I don't see nothing good. Okay, there you go. Let's see. Miss P Talk says, Petal, this picture is absolutely demonic. Period. There you go. She's like, I'm not even arguing. I don't want to talk about it. It's just evil. There you go. Um, and I mean, this portrait has evoked so many strong emotions, and the thing about it, I mean, how many portraits have there been in the royal family that has been on show? I don't think I've ever seen anything that has evoked this kind of emotion, and not just here, all over. That it just even reporters who actually, the same reporter, and I saw because I looked at his Twitter feed, the same reporter who compared Harry and Meghan to Nazi, not to Wallace Simpson and her husband, and then Nigeria to Nazi that we just looked at. He has the same. He's like, I kind of understand, but the feeling that this portrait gives is not a good one. So even he, who is very much a royalist and he's on their side, I think he wrote a book about Charles and Camilla. He's not feeling this portrait. He's not feeling this portrait at all because he's like this. Yeah, he kind of gives like a bit of a negative energy. So he's not feeling it either. So others are trying to be, kind to it, but they're not feeling it either. And so, Kathy Gabby says, I can appreciate the portrait as an artistic adventure, avant-garde, but with Charles' history in the mix, things go dark and wild. Camilla approved. Yep. There you go. I wonder if he saw it before the unveiling or was it a surprise? I mean, I think I read that they said Camilla saw it. I don't know if they said he saw it. And it's funny when they did the unveiling, there's a video of when he unveiled it. It almost seems he kind of winced, or it could just be me, but he kind of looked like he kind of winced when he saw it. And maybe, I don't know. Let's see. Lola says, well, Petal, I wouldn't take it that far. I don't see anything gentle about that painting. Nothing about the painting evokes goodness. Oh, the gentle I was talking about was the butterfly. There's a butterfly on his right shoulder. And so, or left shoulder as you're looking at the video, there's a butterfly on the shoulder, and that's what I was talking about, gentle, because everything else in the photo is so strong, especially the strength of the color red that is so strong and evokes such powerful emotion. And then there's this little butterfly on his shoulder, and so for me that's where the gentleness or the vulnerability, because again, if you look at it, say the red evokes passion or the red evokes fire or burning. Well, there's a butterfly there. What would happen to the butterfly, right? It's a butterfly that, can't very much defend itself against such strong passion. So there's a bit of, for me, when I look at it, I saw the gentleness in the butterfly and the vulnerability because, and I think it's the juxtaposition of both. So that where it's like, wow. So that's what I saw. Let's see. Rhonda says, if none of the ways are good, then are we invoking the wrong emotion? If none of the ways are good, then are we invoking the wrong emotion? I'm not sure what you mean. Explain. Explain. Yama says there is no good interpretation of Charlie's portrait that invokes any good emotion. The main being ridicule. Okay. So Yoma is like, no, this is no good. Let's see. Lorna says, Squatties, when you get a chance, compare it with Lucian Freud's portrait of the Queen Elizabeth II, and I like Lucian portrait better. Okay, I don't know it, so I'll also take a look at it. Michelle says, Chuck, in that red rage flame of hell painting, make him look like Vigo the Carpathian. I don't know who that is. I'm learning all these people about these people on this podcast. I have no idea who that is. So, okay. So, Mashar, well, actually, don't. I will Google. I'll do my own research and find out who that is. So, yeah. So a couple more. I just want to get and see, what you guys think, thought about this. Miss B talk says extremely demonic. The pit of hell. It gives me the chills. I mean, yeah, the red, yes. But again, I asked the question: if you were to take the red away, would you have the same response? So, is it the overall photo that you're responding to, or is it the color red? Because the color red evokes those emotions. So that's why I asked the question, because again, when I look at the picture, I keep saying picture, but the portrait, when I look at the portrait, there are a ton of other colors in there. And so again, if you left those colors in and you just simply take the red out, would you have a different emotion about this portrait? So is it the portrait that gives you that emotion, or is it the red on the portrait that gives you the emotion? So yeah. Um, Connie says that's red and black, which is a color of Satan. Um, okay. Well, my thing is, I don't know. I've never seen Satan. So I seriously doubt Satan walks around and say, "Hi, look at me." I'm in red and black. So how did we associate the color red and black with Satan? Who told us that? Because I've never seen him. I don't know anybody who ever has. But it's very interesting how colors evoke emotions, how colors we associate colors with different things. For example, simple things like we associate blue with a boy baby, a baby who's boy, right? And pink with a baby who is a girl. And for me as a teacher, I taught little kids, and we would be playing with things and we playing with colors, and obviously we're doing art. And it was very interesting for me to watch parents when a little boy would want a pink toy. It's like, no, you don't want the blue. And so I had to counsel them. It's like, no, it's a child. They're just like a color. It doesn't matter for them. They're not associating blue or green with a boy and pink and yellow or whatever, but pink with a little girl. They're just like a color. And so it's very interesting how we have associated different things to different things, right? None of us have been in hell. None of us have seen hell. But somehow someone taught us that the color of hell is red. Or we associated, well, fire, right? But fire, you look at fire has a bunch of different colors in there, right? It also has green and it has yellow, but the red is the outstanding. So it's like we associate, it's like, okay, that's hell. Well, I have no idea. It could also, again, it has a bunch of different colors in it. And so it's funny how we associate different things and why black though? Why black is a part of hell? Again, I've never seen hell. I don't know anybody else who has, but we associate different things, and it's really wild how we do that. And again, that's why I asked the color. If you took the red away from that, would you have a different emotion? So are you responding to the portrait, or you're just responding to the color red? So just questions. You don't have to answer, but yeah. Connie's like, that's really bad. I understand. Let's see. Lola says people are next to saying the painting is a demonic representation of Charles, interpretation of Charles. I'm having read any comments saying otherwise. Yeah, the majority of, again, the red is, it's the most things that I've heard about is that the red is, yeah, yeah. um Dolores says, hello, everyone. I see burning flame. Flame is not just red. There are other colors. Yeah, which is literally what I was just saying. He looks like he is surrounded by flames to me. Yeah. Yeah. Again, yes. But look, I'm just playing devil's advocate. Everyone's opinion is valid because that's what you see, and that's what the painting evokes out of you, which for me is what you want as an artist. You don't want people just, oh, I love it, I love it, I love it. Or I hate it, I hate it, I mean, yeah, everyone wants to be loved, but when you have all these, you look at it and people see all these different things, that's what art is. That is what art is. It's supposed to evoke stuff. It's supposed to, whether it's you like it or you hate it, whatever, it's supposed to evoke deep emotion. And if you can get could do work that evokes all of these emotions and thoughts, hey, for me, that's genius. So we're gonna move away from Charles and his hell painting, or and finish it up. We'll stay on our faves. I don't want to give anybody nightmares in any way, but that's it. I'm done. I that's all I needed to share with that. And but I'm just gonna stay in the chat, see what else you guys are talking about. Although I think everyone is still on Charles and his burning portrait. So Carlene is like, the worst royal painting. I totally understand. um TMCD says, if the background was a different color, maybe. Yeah, again, colors, it's wild how colors invoke emotions, right? I say this all the time. Like, I could never study or something in a room that is just completely white, because my feelings and the way it affects the way I feel. And a lot of times, how I feel is I could explain it in colors. For example, I mean, I've talked about it on this podcast before about during COVID, all I saw was gray, the dark gray. No matter if it was sunshine out, all I saw was this dreaded gray. And for me, it represented death. Because if you lived in New York during COVID, we were the epicenter. We were ground zero for COVID, where we had at least almost 1,000 people dying a day. And it was the most terrifying time of my life. And literally, I'd be walking outside with my mask and my screen visor thing, feeling like death, and all I could see and feel, it was gray. And so it just is one of those things that it really, colors affect me. So everywhere I am, or if I'm going to be there, I always want to be in a place where it has colors, that is bright and all of that stuff, because it affects the way how I feel. And so, and I'm seeing here, it's like how all colors of with this portrait, how it affects, and how colors are so powerful that it could make us feel like a painting. It's like, this is hell. This is, you know what I mean? It's just like, that is the color of the power of colors. And it's incredible to me. Let's see. Mad World has a difference. She says, what if if the colors were removed, I would still see the discoloration in the skin tone that represents death to me. Okay, there you go. So she sees that with the texture work that is, and the color that he used on his skin, still represented that. Yeah. Very interesting. Thank you, Mad World. Let's see. Sun also rises. Oh, the sun also rises. There you go. Says, if I ask myself, if someone offered to paint my portrait, would I want to be depicted in a sea of red? The answer would be no. Definitely no. And again, we're all different, right? Red means different things to different people, although the majority, especially with this, as it evokes something negative. Maybe he sees red in a completely different way. He sees red as strength and power, because that's what it represents as well. There's I always think of Tiger Woods. When Tiger Woods was really at the top of his game, he probably still does it. Whenever Tiger Woods was leading a tournament, a golf tournament, if you don't know who Tiger Woods is a famous golf champion. And whenever Tiger Woods is leading, a golf tournament, the final day, you will always find Tiger Woods in red. That was his signature. Always has a red shirt on. And so red signifies power, victory, you're on top, you know what I mean? So red means different things to different people. And so, yeah, so for me, my first thing when I see red, I always think of it as power, commanding, and control. And so that's what, or like I would think of a power outfit in red because it's outstanding. So people see red in different ways. And so maybe he sees red, he sees red in a different way than others. So yeah. Um Lola says, I think he saw it because he asked for the butterfly. I think, wait, I don't understand what you mean. I think he saw it because he asked for the butterfly. Explain, I'm not sure. So yeah. I'm not sure what you mean. Did he say something about it? Let me know. Because I didn't read any of the commentary around it, other than I saw a couple of posts, one of which was that reporter that I was just mentioning that he wasn't feeling it either. So there you go. Um, okay. Leg said he winced, but I think it was because he didn't want the curtain to hit him. Oh, okay, yeah, because he pulled down the curtain from the portrait. Okay, I understand that. Okay, that makes sense. So yeah. Um, let's see. Teresa 1001 says, red is one of my favorite colors. Megan looks awesome in red, like that beautiful red dress she wore in Nigeria. Take away Chuck. It's pretty. Chuck himself makes it sinister. It's like Rorschach says. The problem is the subject. Oh, okay. So if you took away the subject, like Charles, and you just leave the colors, then it would be cool because his text should work. But him in the portrait makes it look sinister. Then I have another question: is our feelings about King Charles, when if for example he was a wonderful, okay, let's switch that around. If it was, say, Prince Harry in that photo, would you have the same response? Maybe you would, maybe you wouldn't. So just switch out Charles with all his bad history and put in someone you love in that same situation. Exactly. Would you have the same feeling? So is it because of who he is that we have that feeling, or is it because, or you would have that feeling no matter who's in that photo? Could be. So yeah. Just, food for thought. Mashar says the if the color is taken away, I would see the demonic spirit of it more. Through Chuck's eyes. The eyes are a window to the soul. Chuck is evil. Exactly why I asked the question. If we switched him out and somebody that you like say Prince Harry or Meghan, and put them in that photo, would you have the same feeling about that photo, about that portrait? So yeah. Let's see. Oh, this is interesting. Brenda says, I see faces, demonic, and the agony of the in the background. Wow. They are abstract, but there. There you go. That's a definitely, there you go. A different take. But yeah, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Um Terry says, yes, Charles was scared when he unveiled it. That's not good. Do you think he was scared because he didn't know how people would respond, or was he just scared because, ooh, that makes me look demonic? Who knows? I mean, I haven't read any commentary on it, so I don't know what he actually feels about it. I only saw where someone said Camilla liked it. So there you go. Oh, Lady Winwood says the butterfly, maybe Lady Diana. Interesting. Very interesting. It's a very interesting choice to put that butterfly there. So we can talk about other things. So we don't have to sit here talking about the portrait. That's why I went away from it. We don't have to keep talking about it. But if you do, that's fine as well. But we can talk about other stuff that's going on as well. Let's see. Carlene says, I asked my 13-year-old visual student daughter what she thinks of it at the first glance. She said, creepy, gothic. Yeah, it definitely has that feel. Definitely has that feel. It's not the sort of thing you'd want to walk into, like if you walked into a church, a dark church or something. Like, for example, the St. George where they have that St. George's church, where Queen Elizabeth is interred there. It's not the kind of paid thing I'd want to walk into one of those gothic crypt things and see. That would be really creepy. Very, very, very creepy. Um, if the see Connie says like, I'll be back. I can't watch that photo anymore. That's why I went away from it, because I figured it's after a while you just it's yeah it I'm telling you, that thing has evoked such strong emotions. So yes, that's why I went away from it. So again, we don't have to keep talking about this. I have a couple more minutes on here, so I just want to get other things, and let's see. Yoma says, my dear, this painting is just propaganda gone wrong. The artist didn't get the memo. I wonder which memo he was supposed to get. um, let's see. Let's see what else you guys are talking about away from that. Um, let's see other stuff. I'm just scrolling. Everybody's talking about the portrait. I want to find someone that's not talking about the portrait. We can um well, okay, no one else is, so let's just continue. Kathy Gabi says the portrait is titled Metamorphosis. Whose rebirth? Not sure. Well, there you go, butterfly. There you go. That makes sense with the butterfly. So, he transformed into the butterfly. Okay, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Um, let's see. Rhonda says, you said art should invoke emotions. If none of the emotion it invokes are good, then was the pain what then was the point missed? Well, then was I'm sorry, if none of the emotions are good, then was the point of it missed? He looks like he's melting, so the color isn't the only issue for me. Um Again, how I see art is it's neither good nor bad. It's neither right or wrong. It's just what it is. And everyone come to it with a different feeling or emotion, whatever your emotion is. It's just art. It's just a thing that, but you, whatever your history, feelings, whatever is, that's what you get from it. So yeah. So if everyone is like, oh, I hate it, well, that's just everyone's feeling about it. Again, it doesn't make the art right or wrong. It's just that's how you feel about it. That's just what art is. That's what, for me, when I look at art, it's just it's or whether it's whatever. It's just it's not right, wrong, good, bad. It's just art. It's just if you have a feeling about it, and that's it. So yeah. Um. Let's see. Some of us has very very vivid imaginations. Too many scary movies. um Sun also rises says, I live at home with a red wall, a single red wall. It always made me feel overwhelmed in that room. My bedroom is all yellow. See, everyone's different. I had a roommate who had a room in this kind of those green candies, and she painted her room everything, like every little thing in this green, and I could not go into her room because of that shade of green. I mean, I could go in, but it was it did I mean, I felt like, oh, because something about that green I just couldn't. And I totally understand this feeling. Because again, colors do things to us. It's amazing how powerful they are. So yeah, would never forget that shade of green that she had. There's some color green that I love, but that shade of green, that candy green, that is like, no, 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 no. So Then she moved out, and I repainted every. It's like I couldn't wait. I painted everything over. It's like, no, we cannot have this shade of green. So, and it's amazing because there's some green, like mint green, that is very, very calming. And so you'd find that shade of green in like hospitals and stuff. Very, very calming. This shade, oh no, it wasn't. So, let's see. A couple more before we end. Oh, Cynthia says, oh, this is a different a way to look at red. It says red represents hot anger and rage, and the butterfly in flight means that such rage desire to be swift with flight, but is constrained by the highest power that makes it non-effective on its target. Wow, very interesting. Look at all the things she got from that portrait. Very interesting. Again, art, man. This is the power of it. So let's see. Kathy says, well, it's certainly a conversation piece. Mission accomplished. Exactly. Exactly. This is what an artist wants. It's not there. Again, art is not there for you to love, hate, whatever. It's you feel how you feel and you talk about it. You just bring whatever you have to it. That's why it's art. So yeah. Let's see. Oh, he does. I haven't paid attention to him in a while, so I didn't realize he does. Says Tiger still wears red on the final day of a tournament. Yeah, that's his thing. That final day, especially, and it's always so powerful when he was winning a tournament like one of the majors to see him stride in that red shirt. That's his signature. It's like, Tiger Woods and his red shirt. So yeah. Lola said Chuck asked the artist to include the monarch butterfly. Oh, there's a monarch butterfly? These are the things I learned. I didn't realize that. So yeah. Oh yeah, she did. She does definitely look wonderful in that red dress, Megan. So yeah. All right. So I'm scrolling down to see if I see anything else that you want to chat about, even apart from that. So yeah. Mashar says, according to the Milan Art Institute, red is an extreme color in that it is a symbol of power, passionate love, passion, adventure, energy. It also represents seduction, violence, and danger. I mean, talk about the spectrum that goes from that's why I say people see red in very different ways. So I may see it as flames in hell, and other person see it as love and passion and, romantic, stuff and energy and whatever. And so it says the spectrum that goes, it's amazing. So yeah. But let's see. But the overall consensus on here is like, take that thing away. It's demonic. We don't like it. Yep. Kadisha says, Petal, you're a teacher and I'm loving it. I'm just playing devil's advocate because it's stuff that I've thought of. I mean, hey, I'm totally here with everything you're saying. I see all of it in there. But I also see on the other side, I guess, as an artist, it's like you try to see and appreciate it for what it is. I don't judge it. I'm not judging it at all. I just see it as for what it is, as the art, and seeing all the textures and stuff in it. And that's the only way. That's how I see it. So yeah, I put no judgments on it whatsoever. So I think you're it, Michelle says, but I'm talking about the different views on the portrait allows us to discuss it in depth. It's fascinating to see everyone's viewpoint on it. Yeah, it is amazing. It is wonderful. And again, which is why I thought the artist, he is probably flying right now, even though some of, people have negative reactions to it, because again, this is what you want. It's supposed to, when you see art and you see incredible works of art, whether you like it, hate it, or otherwise, you want people to talk about, you want to hear people's emotions, the emotions that it evoked from people. If nobody is saying, if you've done all this work and nobody is saying anything, then you would be like, well, I did all this work and nobody cares. But you did it, and whatever the emotions are, people are talking about it, and it brings up stuff. And again, art. That's why I don't judge it. So yeah, Denise says red symbolizes all sorts of good, bad, evil, power, love, danger. I love red, just don't like Charles. Again, yeah, yeah, because you put the thing that you like, like you put someone that you don't like in that situation. That's why I say if you swapped out Charles and you put in somebody that you love in that image, would you have the same reaction? For example, if you put Meghan in there or Harry, because we love them and they're our faves, or you think of, I don't want to use children, but anyone that you love, and you put them in there, would you have the same feeling? So is it that the red is the what's invoking the emotion, or is it your feeling for Charles that's invoking the emotion? So if you were to swap one of those things out, do you think you'll have the same reaction to it? So yeah, something to think about, I think. So yeah. And he's not feeling it. And it says, in my opinion, that picture is so hideous. It needs to be in the Fright Museum. There is something evil about it. Yep, I get it. I see it. I mean, I get it. Especially when, I mean, it's incredibly scary, because when I saw the imaging, it was late last night, and I was like, I don't want this to be the last thing I see before I go to sleep. I was so afraid I was going to have nightmares, because when you see the imaging and they sort of highlighted the demonic looking person, I was just like, that is not what I want to see before I want to go to bed. No. So yeah, very, very interesting. Let's see. Oh, well, this is good. Carlene says, Pedal, awesome podcast. Love the rapport among squatties. Bye. Have to leave to pick up my daughter from school. Bye. I say, give your daughter a big hug. Thank you, Carlene, for hanging out with us for a bit. Appreciate it. Lola Love says, Tiger Woods wear red because it symbolizes good luck in Asian cultures. Oh, really? Nice. Nice. And of course, Tiger's mom is, I think she's Filipino. Wait, no, is she Thai or Filipino? One of those. I think it may be Thailand. I think so. Yeah. Let's see. Tiger is so different now. My goodness, Let's see. And changing all, it says, Cookies and Cream says, everyone, please continue to pray for the Sussexes, each one, and the world. So ending with something nice and positive, yes, let us pray for each other, that wherever we are, that, that we're able to fight through in every single way and in whichever situation that we're in. But yeah, definitely pray for each other. I want to leave it on that positive note. I see all your comments in the comments, in the comment section here. So, but I want to leave it on a positive note. So we'll leave it on a let's pray for each other. So there we go. So anyways, guys, I love you all. And thank you so much to our awesome moderators, Lydia Church, Nelly, Karen, and Cookies and Cream, and Black Queen. Thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for all that you do in moderating and making sure our space is nice and safe. Thank you so much to our 2 Cents crew who support the channel and fund the channel, really support financially the channel every month. Thank you so much. Thank you to all of you who support in the chat, or if you support via PayPal, Cash App, or if you purchase merchandise. Thank you. I appreciate you so very much. And so anyways, guys, have a fantastic day. I love you all, and we shall chat some more mañana. Bye.